All right, so this is the lecture number 79 in our DSA series, and we are solving the problems related to 2D arrays, and we would be completing that today. And this is the last problem over 2D arrays for now in this low level of DSA. We'll move forward when in the advanced DSA, then we will do some sort of more problems over the 2D arrays. So the last problem is searching inside the 2D arrays, and the array would be sorted. So let us see what is the exact problem. Fine, so we have to see a problem searching in sorted 2D array. Fine, we have to do this. So let me draw a matrix quickly. Let us say you have been provided this matrix 4, 39, 40 and 50. They are all the elements, and you can see all the elements are in increasing order in column wise, and all the elements are in increasing order row wise also. So this is the example of sorted 2D array or 2D matrix. Fine. So what you have to do, let us say you have been provided this matrix, let us call as A or A dash whatever, and you have been provided with an element, let us call 22. You have to find the location for this 22 where this 22 is existed. Fine. So this is the problem, and I want you to try yourself how you can approach this particular problem, and if you are done with that, then you can continue from here. So the solution for this problem is there are two solutions. One is brute force. The complexity would be for this of O(n) square, and the another solution for this is using binary search, and the complexity for this would be log of n into m. I think it should be n into m, and we'll see what is the exact complexity of this. Fine. So brute force solution is iterate over each and every row and each and every column and check whether the element is equal to that element. Then of course that is the location for that element. If not found, then print the -1. But there is an optimized solution for this. Why? Because as you know already that array sorted, so we will use the benefit for that. What we will do, we'll start from here. Let us say I'm starting from here, and we'll check. Let us say we have 22 to search. So if you know what is the properties of sorted array, let us say you are searching for 5. So all the elements to the left of this 5 will be lesser than this. Why? Because the elements are sorted in ascending order from here to here of column wise also, no? So 5 will be always be greater than its left element. So, and there is also another property, 5 will always be lesser than these elements which are on the bottom of this or in the column wise. Fine, in the increasing order of course. So we'll start from here and we'll check whether 5 is equals to 20. If it is, there would be only 3 cases similar to binary search. Either 5 is equals to 20, or 5 is greater than 20, or 5 is less than 22, not 20. So if it is 22, no, it's not. So this condition is not matching. 5 is greater than 22, of course it is not, it is less than 22. So if it is less than 22 and all the elements are onto the right, left of this element are going to be lesser than element, then there is no mean to check with this element. We can ignore all these elements and we can move ahead in this way. Like the 5 is less than 22, then what is the meaning of checking the element which are left on this? Of course we need to check on the bottom of this, because all the elements on this side has to be greater than this. So at least we will be reaching at some nearest location. Fine. So that is the main logic for this. If 5 is less than 22, then what we have to do, let us say this was I and j pointing was here, j was the last column, let us say last column was 4, initially I was 0, we were having initially in 0th column, 0th row, 0 1 2 3, these are column and these are rows. Fine. So if it is less than 22, and we have to check here, then what we have to do, we have to increase our row. So in this case we'll increase the row, and if let us say 10, now we are here, 10 is also greater than 22, then again we'll increase the row. So again increase the row. Now row is 2, we are on the second row. We'll check with this whether 33 is equal to 22. No, it's not. 33 is greater than 22. Yes, it is. This would be element. Do not take it that we will consider every time with 5. This is the element on which we are currently standing in the box. Fine. So yes, 33 is greater than 22. That means the element will going to be lie in this range only, because the 33 is greater than 22 and the elements on the left of this 33 are going to be lesser than, only less element will be there on the left of the 33, and 22 is also less than 33. Then there is a possibility then 22 will be always lie on this row, this is for sure, but onto the left. Why? Because 33 is not equal to the 22. So in this case, if 33 is greater than 22, then what we have to do, we have to decrease our j. So we'll decrease our j. Now we are standing at here in this row and in this column. We'll check again whether we are, or 22 is equal to 2. Yes, it is. Then what we will do, we will simply print the I and j and will return from here, because we already found our location. So that is the logic. Let me explain you once more. So there are only 3 conditions. Either the element is equal to the element which we are searching, or this is greater than this, or this is less than this. If it is equal to this, then we just have to print I and j and return from there. If this is greater than 20, if this is greater than 22, then of course the element will be lie in this range. So we have to decrease our j. If the element is less than 22, then we have to increase our I, because the element is going to be lie in its next rows, either in this row or in this row or in this row. So that is the only logic. Now we just have to code it up. Let us see how we are going to code. So this is the, let us do not worry on the output and input. We just have to modify this code. Fine. So this is, yes, this is the input and output taking process. We have to start from here. I would be 0 and j would be the column size -1. Due to what? Due to zero based indexing, we are decreasing j as column size -1. Fine. Now we have to check our j is less than row size, and I should be less than row size, and j should be greater or equal to 0. Fine. This is the only condition, and now we have, is there any error? Okay, so this is the error. Yes. Now what we have to do, we have only 3 conditions. Either ARR of I and j is equals to the element for which we are searching for. Let us take the input also for this element for which we have to search. Element is equals to stn.nxt. Fine, we got our element. If it is equal to this, or else if ARR of I and j is less than the element for which we are searching for, let us take greater than, because we have seen the greater condition first in our explanation. Else this is less than the element. These are the only 3 conditions. Fine. If it is equal to this, then we just have to print the value for I and j, I plus j, and we have to simply return from here. Or else if, let us say, we are into this, for what we were searching for, 1 2 3 4 5 6 7 8 9 10 11 12 13 14 15 16, checking for 10, let us say, for this. If it is equal to 10, then simply print I and j and return from here. If this is greater than element, if 4 is greater than element, then what we have to do, we have to check in this row. Let us see, we were here was 12. 12 is greater than 10, then of course we have to check in this row only. the elements are from here are lesser than 12, and the element for which you are searching for is also less than, then of course the element is going to be lie in this range only. So we have to decrease our j. And for if in this case element is less than, I mean this element is less than the searching element, so we have to increase our I. We have to search in the remaining rows. Fine, we do not have to search in this row. So if it is greater than the element, then what we have to do, this is greater than, then of course we have to decrease the j, and if it is greater than, we have to increase the I. So I hope it is clear to you, and we are done with the code. And if we are came into the outside of this, then we just have to print the -1. Fine, and we are done with the code. Let us see into this section whether this is working or not. So for that we will have to provide the input and output also. So I'm entering 4 into 4 size matrix, 1 2 3 4 5 6 7 8 and what 9 10 11 12 13 14 15 16. Fine, so this is the matrix. We have to search for, let us say, 10. So what should be got in our output? We should be able to get 2, 1, because this 10 is existed on 2, 1. So let us see whether we are going to get or not. I hope it should work because there is nothing in this. It's a very simple program. So as you can see, we are getting 2 and 1. What if we have to search for 16? Let us see. Now we should be able to get 3, 3. 3, 3 we are getting. Let us search for 1 for edge cases. We should get 0, 0. For 1, okay, so where we have to modify here. So we are getting 0, 0. Let us search for element which is not existed into this, which is 20. Now we should be able to get -1. This is the, of course, edge case for this, because we should be able to test for each test case. So you can see we are getting -1. So this is it for this particular program, and I hope I was able to explain you the concept of this searching into the 2D array using an efficient algorithm, which is binary search. So I'm going to list this video into the binary search algorithm also. So because this depends on binary search. So as you can see, we were having the same scenario over binary search. We were having only these conditions, fine, in binary search. So that is why this is of log n complexity. And one more thing, what we have to do is, if you can see, we are applying the binary search over rows, fine. We are increasing row, but we are not applying the binary search over columns. So you have to think about how we can apply the binary search over columns also, how we can further optimize this. And you can comment down your approach, and I will see whether that approach is correct or not, and will come to you. Or else if there is any other efficient approach, then I will be reposting the video also. So for now, I found this approach the optimized one for this particular solution. So that is it. I have posted the video for on the same topic. And so this it is for this particular video, and it's around 15-minute video. I hope you have completely watched the video and you got the point. If you still have any confusion, then you can reiterate the video also. So that's it for this video from my side. We'll see you in the next one. Thank you.